welcome back to your 30-day Qi Gong journey. Today in session 4, we're going to do much the same. The overall structure remains the same. So we're going to start with some basic warm-up exercises. Just try and follow along as best you can. There'll be some that'll be familiar and maybe a few different ones each time. And then again, the same principle that I'll introduce a few different ones and we'll come back to them over time and we'll build some familiarity. And then you'll also find the ones that you like the best, or the ones that you feel open up and allow you to, get that feeling of some of that light, fresh, tingling feeling in the hands, the feeling of energization that good Qigong practice leads to. And then we'll do some static stretches. Today I'd like to do some floor stretches. So I'll adjust the camera and we'll have a look down on the floor at some of the different postures that we can do. Again, might be quite familiar if you've done some yoga before. The main difference being that we don't aim for the extreme ends of mobility and flexibility. We just need enough mobility in order to do the movements, right? So we're more looking at comfortableness within the range of motion, which still does require a little bit of static stretching, right? And then the emphasis being that we relax in order to stretch, rather than putting ourselves into an extreme stretch in order to find relaxation. Yeah. So we always want to use the breath, relax as much as possible, and then that allows the body to stretch and the tissues to lengthen. Then we will continue. Then we'll do some standing meditation. I'm going to do a little more detail about some of the basic alignments today. In the upper body. So particularly, we're going to spend a good while in this posture, right? The mother posture. And we'll come back and talk a little bit more about that today. And then we have our 2 movements that we've done so far, boat rowing in a stream of air, and the new one, which I will spend a little bit more detail coaching you in this week. Then we'll probably finish with some sitting meditation, right? We'll just do some counting. Good, excellent. Let's get started. So, as per normal, start feet shoulder width apart, or just slightly outside of shoulder width, feet pointing forward, hips nice and sort of relaxed but gently tucked underneath. And then we'll start off with gathering Qi, our first movement. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in as the hands come up. And out as they go down. Breathe in. And out. In. And out. Nice and slow. If you can't manage to keep the breathing at this pace, just breathe naturally. We'll do a couple more. Good. Next one. Hands come into the middle, looking up at the top hand. One pushes up, the other pushes down. We don't need a full tight extension, we want a little bit, and then it's like you're twisting and spiraling the hands in the opposite direction. And then you uncurl, go the other direction. Twist and spiral. Looking at the top hand, pushing up. Change, looking at the top hand. Just a couple more. And when you get to the top, there's just a light pause, feeling like the fingers are stretching and extending. Shoulder blades feel like they're separating, pulling apart slightly. One more each side. together, separate and down. Straight into the next movement. Hands come up, small scoop at the bottom, up, roll over, fix the hands, spread the fingers, push through the shoulders. Hold that for just a second and let everything relax. Hands go yin, hands go soft. Breathe in and out. Push through and relax. Breathe in, small scoop, and out. Breathe in as the hands rise. Just lightly hold the breath for a second as you push, and breathe out. A couple more in your own time. All right, so as we were, small scoop, breathe in, hands roll over, push down, fix the hands. Hands come up, push through the shoulders, hold for a second, and relax. Hands go yin, elbows soft. Breathe in, small scoop, fix the hands, push through the shoulders, and relax. Breathe in, good. Okay, next one, bend the knees a little bit more, hands yang at the bottom here, and breathe in, straighten the legs, hands and legs together. This is the opening movement from the Tai Chi form, but we're just using it as an excellent opening, commencing movement for our healthy Qigong practice. Good. Hands and legs move together, also coordinated with the breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just do a few more. You can do this as slow or as fast as you like. Slow down a little bit. Really concentrate on the movement being as soft, smooth and continuous as possible. Good, last one. Good. We'll do one of our little silk breathing exercises. So the idea here is these are a little bit faster. We want that feeling of momentum from the waist, so things like the swing or the two overlapping hands we did before. We'll do a new one today. So we'll do the figure of 8 hands. So start at the top, hips turn to the left, turn back to the right, scoop underneath, and left. Other hand comes up. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Hips turn to the right, hand comes over the top, like over the top of an 8, down, across the other side, and round the bottom. And now we go over the other side, over the top. Hand curves underneath and down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can do this one even a little bit faster if you like. Get a feeling of a little bit of momentum. Or you can do it the same. You can do it really, really slowly. And so it's got more of that kind of Qigong feel to it. Nice and full and rounded. One of the mistakes people make here is that they try and do it with the hand. Yeah, you see the hand is moving all by itself, right? So if I didn't move my waist, my hand would just be on my center line. Yeah. So the hand is actually always on the center, you see. So wherever I am, it's still on the center. So it's the waist movement that creates the circle in the hands. And that way we know that we're moving as one integrated unit. Good, and nicely done. You can just stay for a second or so. You might have some residual movement in the body, that feeling of it sort of gently rocking forward and back. You can just observe that and feel that for a moment. Feel how the hands and the back feel. The feet maybe feel full. Good. Excellent. Right, okay, so let's carry on with our stretches. So we'll just do some neck stretches. So head, ear to shoulder. Just hold for a few seconds, a few deep breaths. Good, change over the other side. Good. Together, do some shoulder rolls. And back the other way. And arm swings. So just one leg slightly in front of the other, and we're going to do back arm swings. You just want that full movement of the arm, so it's coming all the way above, past the ear as much as it can, and around. And again, it's like the waist makes the arm swing through its full range of motion. And you can do these a bit faster if you like. Get some, really flush some blood down into the arm, which is quite a nice feeling. Or you can do it a bit slower, and just keep it controlled throughout the whole range of motion. Either way is good. All right, try both. And the other way. So someone who's had shoulder problems in the past, had injuries playing rugby, this is an excellent movement, right? So you can really feel when the shoulder feels tight or impinged, and you can either just move it slowly through that range of motion, or you can try and loosen it off, flush some more blood down into the arm, try and help it heal a little bit. Good, excellent. All right, so we're going to go down onto the floor now, and we're going to do some of the static floor stretches. Right. So we're going to start off. Just find a nice, comfortable place to sit where you've got plenty of room. Pull the left leg in, so this leg is bent, and then the other one is straight. And then you're just going to reach forward in line with the breathing. So as you breathe out, you're going to reach forward, and wherever you get to is fine, right? So if you can only hold on to the knee, keeping this straight and aligned, right? We don't want leaning over to the side and messing up our alignments. We just want to come forward nicely, right? If you can get to the ankle, that's fine, or if you can get to the toe, then that's the good place to get to. So breathe in and then breathe out. Reach forward to where you're comfortable to, and then wherever you get that light feeling of expansion and stretching, just breathe into that. Good. Change, we'll do the other leg. Just 10 nice deep breaths there. Same again, this leg straight in front, aligned with my hips, and this one pulled in just behind the knee. Try and relax the hip as much as possible here. Same again, take a deep breath, and then breathe out as you reach forward. Every time you breathe out, just relax a little bit more. Great, and let that go. Brilliant. Okay, next one we're going to pull both legs in, grab hold of the feet together, and then just slowly feel the sensation of the knees descending, right? So the hips opening up. Sit up nice and tall, and you don't want to bounce or anything. Just take another deep breath, and we're going to count together. 1, breathe out, relax the hips. 2, breathe out, relax the hips. 3, breathe out, relax the hips. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And by the end of that, you should see that the hips have loosened off a little bit. Even if you just get that sensation, that feeling of opening up is the beginning of real change, right? Because even if you don't get any physical, extension or more mobility at the moment, you feel your body every day. You live inside your mind experiences your body. So if you get that sensation, the feeling of opening up, then that is a real progress, right? So the sensations that we live in and experience every day that's how our minds experience the world. So if we get that chance to open up and release and loosen off, even if there is no physical movement, even if it's just in the mind, that can still lead to significant improvements in your well-being throughout the day. Good. Okay. Excellent. Right. So, and then we're just going to do a few more. We'll do some ankle ones as well. So we're going to just do some pointing. So you're going to hold back a little bit so you can see my feet. So, so from this position, just point the toes, stretch and extend. Just do a few breaths there. And then pull back. And if you can, reach the ankles off the floor. Then reach forward again and point. Feel like there's this extension along the top of the shins, all the muscles there are pulling forward, everything is stretching towards the toes. And then pull back. And then bring your feet together, and we're just going to do some rotations, right? So one foot sort of pushing the other around, getting a little bit more range of motion and mobility in the ankles. You can support yourself if you want to. Some people find that a little bit easier. Right, and back the other way. And then you can separate them, and we can do opposite, so they're going in the same direction and the opposite way. Because we do a lot of standing in Qigong and Tai Chi, it's really important to have good ankle mobility, right? So we spend quite a lot of time opening up and stretching these, because we do stuff in a standing and squatting posture, and a lot of people in the West are limited in their squatting mobility by ankle flexibility. I know I'm one of those people. Good, all right. So that's just a couple of things that you can do on the floor. Again, like I said, we're not going to blitz it all and do, because we'd spend half an hour just stretching on the floor if we did, 1 hour or more, right? So we'll just add a few each week, and then so by the end you'll have a full floor stretch, so that if you wanted to do a static stretching routine, you could build your own one out of all the different exercises that we introduce. Right, let's continue, and we're going to go and do our standing meditation now. Okay, so as I said last time, as I said earlier at the beginning, we're going to start with a little bit more coaching on this first posture, right? So why do we do standing meditation? So it's a very physical form of meditation. So it really helps sort out alignments and structure in the body, so that you can be more relaxed. I also think that there's a huge thing in that we spend way too much time sitting down at the moment in front of computers. Because of lockdown, we might be spending a lot more time inside sitting down. So it's a really good counter to the effects of prolonged sitting, right? So, and we know that sitting causes significant health problems. So learning how to stand in a relaxed, comfortable way, mindful, with good breathing and good biomechanics, is immensely helpful, right? And it paves the way for deeper meditation techniques that work directly with either the breath or the mind, right? So which can be done sitting or lying. So that's why we do it. So in order to do that, we have to learn how to stand in the right way. So the opposite way, how we want to stand, would be the Western military posture, right? Which has a straight back, but carries a lot of tension, right? So both feet locked together, bum tucked in really tight, chest up tight, head up tight, chin tucked in, right? So this is like the yang opposite of what we don't want, right? So we basically want almost the opposite of that, which will lead us to also still having a straight back, but with a lot less external tension because in order to do this, I need to tighten up my lats, crunch my core, push my chest muscles up, right? So, and I use the big external muscles in the body, and their main job is not posture, right? Their job is to do the big external movements, right? When we're standing still, we want those muscles to relax, okay, as much as they possibly can. So in order to achieve that, what do? So we don't put our feet together and sit on a narrow pedestal. We align them underneath the hips, so sort of inside hip distance, so not quite as wide as when we start, maybe a little bit more. We want the feet to align forward and everything to track over, so the knees and ankles track together, right? And we lightly bend everything, right? So we give that little bit of flex, right? So we don't want anything locked out and stiff and rigid, right? We want just a little bit of flex in everything, flex in the ankles, flex in the knees. As I mentioned before, we don't want that like pelvis pulled up sensation. We just want that gentle feeling of rotation and lifting. Like, again, like there's a string that's pulling my front forward, and this little bit of the lower back actually relaxes down, right? This can be quite hard to get at first. Let your gut hang out, right? Let it relax. Like the interior part of the core that's around the spine is strong, right? But the very abdominal muscles on the outside, we don't, those are about resisting movement. And we don't need to resist any movement because we're holding our posture static, right? There's a little bit of activation along the side. And this is the really big one, is instead of chest up, we want the chest to sink and relax. So the diaphragm and all this bit in here is soft and we can breathe deeply. And then this is the only bit that's similar, is the chin is lightly tucked, right? And the head feels suspended like it's being pulled up. So this is the basic posture, right? And then in addition to this, we add an additional posture with a big circle at the front, right? So imagine like you're holding a giant beach ball, or like one of those gym balls, right? You know, Bosu balls, right? So you've got this big thing, you've got to hug it, right? So you've got to activate your back a little bit, relax the chest, because you can't, if you hold it like this, it's going to pop out, right? You've got to hold it so it's a nice big circle is sitting in the front here. If I show you it from the front, bend the knees, and yeah, you can see like my chest goes hollow, right? But I'm not like this, okay? My back doesn't collapse, my thoracic spine stays up, right? And then once you're happy with this posture, we're just going to settle and stay in this one for a little bit longer today. Extend the fingers, and those fingers are lightly splayed. See, there's just a little bit of extension, so like every finger is pulling away from every other finger, like just a little bit. Like you've got little mini beach balls blowing up between your hands, yeah? As before, just try and relax everything as much as possible. So if I was just even a little bit more relaxed, the hand would descend, yeah? Just the absolute minimum amount of force you need to hold yourself in that posture. Chin lightly tucked, breathing deep and relaxed. Good. And next one, we're just going to do this one, right? So we're just going to do two postures today. So again, feel like there's a little bit of expansion under here, so it's not just like hands flat. You always want to feel like you're in that sort of intermediate space, that middle space. Fingers just lightly extended as well. in. Just do a few of these. Yeah, feet together. And extend and straighten the legs. Have a little shake. Good, excellent, very good. Okay. All right, let's just crack on with it straight away. So we'll go straight away into the boat rowing in a stream of air. So feet double shoulder width wide, just walk them out. Bend the knees slightly. And begin. Start slow. Sit back into the waist, into the hips. Good. Straight into the next movement. Okay, this one can be a bit complicated. I think it's best to see from the front still. So break it down slowly. Okay, feet shoulder width wide, bend the knees a little bit. Okay, so to begin with, don't worry, there's an up down part of this movement, but don't worry about that too much for now. The first and most important thing to get right is feeling like you're being tugged up and down from your elbow. Yeah, and then the rest of your body, like the top part of your body, so from the sort of the upper waist and up, this moves first, and then that rotates the rest of you. Okay, so that's the feeling that you need to get first of all. So starting off, one up, and it starts slow. Here, here. This one now we're getting into it, right? So this one is pulling, and then the other arm is coming up. And then that pulls the legs. This arm starts, elbow pulling up, other hand drags, and then the rest of the body comes up. Up, slide down and up. And as you slow it down, movement changes from side to side. Waist turn, arm follows. Yeah, nice, nice. Don't worry about that one so much. Okay, we're going to come back to it a couple of times, right? So it is tricky. There's a lot going on. The most important thing is that you get this top of the ribs, moving side to side and rolling, right? And then it's feeling like there's a string attached to my elbow that's pulling that part of my body up, right? And then this hand gets pulled along for the ride almost, yeah? And the last part of the movement, it just sort of completes by itself. Don't worry about it. It took me a while to get the hang of this one, right? So just keep having a go, okay? Really lovely sensation, like a kind of like a metronome inside the body, where it just kind of feels like it's doing itself. If you persist and get the hang of it. Okay, we're going to sit back down again. So I'm gonna take a seat here. So or you can sit on a pillow. Or you can sit in a chair, even with a supported back. But the main thing is you want the back straight. And we're just going to do some seated meditation with some counting. Okay, good. So let's just adjust this. Da-da-da. So move that as well. Nice and central. Good. So yeah, if you're sitting in a chair, you can have these suspended. Mine, I'm just going to lightly cross, just so that everything's lined up nicely. Hands here, or you can do, this is very common in Taoist meditation as well. So I'm going to do this one today. So left hand on top, and then the two thumbs just connect lightly there. Good. Right. First of all, we're just going to close our eyes. So we're going to be just focusing internally on the mind. To begin with, just relax. Just take note of the body, anything that's tense or tight. Just bring your awareness there and then let it go. Move on to the next thing. Bring your focus onto your eyes, to the dark, velvety blackness behind the closed eyes. Spend a moment there. If you see any shapes, images, just let them go. Good. Then we're going to start our meditation. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then just count with me. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. If the mind wanders, just bring it back to the count. If you get distracted by thoughts or feelings, just bring it back again. And we just start again at 1. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And if you have time, you can continue just counting the breath. 1 to 10. If you lose the count, if you get distracted, doesn't matter. Just come back and focus on the breathing and the count. But now, you can end your practice if you so choose, and we'll just gently open the eyes. Very good, excellent. And then you can move out the posture, right? Excellent, great session today. So a little bit longer today because I wanted to give a few more details, introduce the idea of why we stand, and focus on some floor stretches as well. So excellent. You can see already we're only 4 sessions in. The structure is the same each time, the overall structure, but we vary a few little bits and bobs so that you can begin to experience a few different types of movements, but see that actually they're all connected, right? They're all serving the same goal, right? But then you can pick and choose your favorite ones and build. By the end of the 30 days, you should be able to build your own routine. Excellent. Hope you're all having an excellent day. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next day of our 30-day Qi Gong journey. See you all soon.